Danger! The following episode contains flammable material. Maintain a safe distance and keep an extinguisher on hand at all times. The Fireworks Brigade is now online.
What's going on?
We're here at NFA 2024 in Erie, Pennsylvania, and you've gathered quite a group here.
All right, Ron, so here's what we got going on today.
You tell me, because this
is really okay. This is happening stuff here. There's so many things coming over my desk right now. Memorabilia here.
I know there's papers flying all around, newspaper articles.
We got a cast of merry men here. You know, we got Rob Berk, the king of Warren, Ohio, with Berk Enterprises.
The king of Warren,
he's the king of Warren, Ohio. If any of us had his business, we would all just throw ours away, you know?
That's
and
correct.
And he knows it. That's why he's so silent. You never heard Rob Berk silent before. And then you got a good old friend of mine.
What do I do?
Oh, you're good. Hold up there. It's good, yeah.
All right.
We got a great friend of mine that I met many years ago. And that's Steve Kozar. He was filling in for the long good friend of ours, Larry Lomaz. And we are all here today to, Larry Lomaz died August 23rd of 2012. So it's 12 years almost to the date that he's passed away.
Yeah, I have his obituary here.
Yeah, so we gathered all these friends of his, and we're, once again trying to keep his name alive. Larry was such a colorful person with so many stories and so many things he did in his life, so it's only fitting that you grab two of his best friends here and myself. So we got three good friends. We're all around the same age, we shared the same stories over the years, and once again we just want to keep it alive on this podcast. And we got some good feedback in the bar last night. People from Ohio just really, everyone knows Larry Lomaz.
Yeah, and we're not far from where he was.
Yeah, he's a legend. So being here so close in Erie, Pennsylvania, wow, we wouldn't even get these guys nowhere near Chicago to do a podcast. But since we got them cornered here, and Rob Berk has given us all kinds of information here, we're going to share some good stories and good times about Larry Lomaz. What I always said, the man, the myth, and the true legend in the fireworks industry.
Yeah, we've done some podcasts before about Larry with Steve in particular last year. So, I'm looking forward to the stories. I always like the ones where you talk about how he cheated Sammy Hagar out of money. That one always makes me laugh.
Yeah. There's not too many people can say they cheated a rock star.
He also got the guy that cheated that started this association, the NFA.
Yeah.
Cam Starr.
Cam Starr, yeah. He cheated Cam Starr. Larry will deny it until the day we stop talking about it. but
when did he pass away? What year?
2012.
John, do you want to introduce everybody here today?
Sure. Well, I just did. Yeah, where you been? You've been passing out things here.
So, ladies and gentlemen out there in TV land, the reason I came on board is I'm the only one here of the group, including the banker, that knows the very early history of Larry when he was 21 years old. So at the time, he was a coin dealer. He had a place called the Ohio Coin Shop. And my dad was a coin dealer, and back in the day, they used to communicate through a teletype, where you could tell each person had their own code. So my dad's code was Berk, so Berk to Ohio Coin, which was Larry. Anyways, so Larry was bragging, hey, special price on business cards.
Oh.
So I typed on there, I get my business cards from Direct Press. Then Lomaz calls me up, hey, get that off the teletype, because that's who I use for my source.
Well, so he didn't want you to know.
So he didn't want me to tell everybody where they were coming from.
Oh, my God. That's his source. I love Larry for that. He was a salesman all the time.
So Larry went by a lot of different names, what these guys don't know about. He went by Larry McCow. And when I was going to school at Kent State, one time he said, Berk, come with me. I need to buy some furniture. So we went down to this furniture store, and he's buying some furniture, and the salesman there says, what can I help you out? He says, I'd like to charge it. But he said, what's your name? Larry Collins. So I look at him. He goes, So the guy comes back, okay, Mr. Collins, you got credit. So I'm rolling my eyes like, oh, my gosh. So Larry buys he gets a sofa, and then I helped get him I told the salesman, hey, how about throwing these 2 chairs in? Okay, I'll throw them in. He said, Berk, I like bringing you along with me. But anyways, Larry Collins was another alias. I never, ever heard that name.
You know, in fact, I think he bought some fireworks for me under Larry Collins. I think that was, yeah.
Larry had some aliases, huh?
So, he had several of them.
Here's a few more college stories. So I'm at Kent State, and I get a phone call about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, you're 18 and wet under the collar, and you don't know too much of anything. And to get a call that late at night, the first thought is maybe your mom or dad passed away or something. Mm-hmm. So I pick up the phone, and here's what I hear. I says, Buck, is that you? I just knew.
Yeah.
And he says, good night. So the point being, he was a real character back then, but he lived life to his fullest, as the guys can tell you.
Yeah.
Between the girls he had, so many girlfriends, and he loved to con people. And as
that's an understatement.
Who were the twins, Novelli?
Oh, the Novelli brothers.
He says, Berk, he says, you're one of Larry's few friends, because most people don't put up with him because he uses them and abuses them. And unless he can use you or abuse you, he has no use for you. Mm-hmm. And that's why Chicago John, I think at the end, Larry got mad because he tried to get me to help him import containers.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And, you know, we did a couple, but we didn't do what he had hoped for. And I think he took it personally, like, I don't need him anymore. He's out of my life.
Yeah. Well, I will say one thing about Larry. He was a very likable guy. People wanted to hang around with him. They wanted to be, because they were so impressed and just mesmerized by his sales pitch and the way he presented himself, that everyone they wanted a piece of that. They're like, wow, I hang around with this guy, I'm going to be like him. You know, I think that was the easiest way for Larry to con people, was he impressed so many people. But yes, he really... he took advantage of his friends, and I think friendship really wasn't a big concern to Larry's. He could throw away friendship away like crazy. It didn't bother him.
John, I can't believe this. I found this. USA Today. Look at the ad he had in USA Today.
Yeah, he didn't pay for this. I know that. Delivered by Air Express. How times have changed. Right?
Fireworks by telephone.
Fireworks Unlimited. That's right. I remember when he was Fireworks Unlimited.
I was there.
Yeah.
Fireworks Unlimited.
So I remember the one year, it was July 4th, and the people were coming out of the woodwork in Deerfield, Ohio, and lining up everywhere. And no matter what radio station you turned it to, it was a Buckeye Fireworks ad. Yeah. So after the 4th, I said, Larry, that must have cost you a lot of money. Every single station had your ads. Berk, who says I was going to pay for it?
How did he get anything done if he never paid anybody? I hear all these stories. He just never paid anybody. And I've heard stories where he didn't pay people and they actually took their lives in their own hands.
Yeah.
Some fence guy.
Yeah, he didn't pay.
I heard this story a couple times last night.
And Steve tells that story. You know that story. Sad for his family, but
I met Larry back in 1973, and we hung around together. We used to go to Ramones and Mama Llamas and everything. We met this guy at Mama Llamas that sold fences. So Larry told him he needs some fencing done out of this place. Well, the guy came out there. Well, Larry had 88 acres, and he wanted to know what it would cost to fence in the whole area. And the guy told him it was going to be about $30,000. Well, Larry says, okay, I want it done. Do the whole perimeter. So I can't remember this guy's name. I think his name was John or something like that. And he hung out at Mama Llamas. And so Larry said, what do you want down? He said, well, give me at least $1,000 down and I'll get the job done for you. So Larry said, okay, no problem. So Larry gave him the $1,000. And the guy, it took about, I'm going to say, 4 or 5 days, maybe a week to get it done. It's a big piece of property out there. And when the job's done, Larry started dodging him. The guy kept calling him. And went on for months and years. And I said, Larry, when are you ever going to pay this guy? Because I knew him. He said, Snooky, don't worry about it. I'll get him paid. I said, well, he keeps bothering him. And then I heard about a year and a half later, the guy went bankrupt. he had no money, and then I heard, I hate to say this on the air, but he ended up committing suicide.
Wow. Well, we don't know that's because of Larry, but yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was because Larry beat him for the 30, but he never paid the $29,000.
Right.
And he was that was probably a big factor. It might not have been the only reason, but it was certainly.
This was like in 1974, so 30,000 would probably be worth 300,000 or 400,000 today.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
It was big money back then.
It was big money, and we've had a lot of people like that in the Chicagoland area did the same thing. They can push around some of the smaller vendors because they can, and then and once again you're looking at a $30,000 hit. That's a great job, back then. But yeah, if you don't get paid, just like in the fireworks industry, if we don't get paid, it's really not a good customer. So,
all right, here's another deal. So Larry was involved in display fireworks for a while, and this is back in the day when we used to drive in a van, and they'd put that little magnetic sign on your outside door of your van. It was the name of your company, but it was in the early years. It was cheaper than paying to have it painted on there. Mm-hmm. So we had a show in Liberty, Ohio, a place called the Liberty Plaza. So we're shooting a show off, and I'm there with a guy by the name of Jerry Taylor, who's since passed away. And a lot of the shells that Larry got was from Columbus Fireworks, and they broke low, and they broke on people's homes around the area. So we started seeing a guy start coming towards the van. And I said, Larry, I think this guy, some of those fireworks hit his roof. I think he's coming towards the van. Berk, quick, take the magnet off of the van.
There you go.
So at the same time, Jerry Taylor was there, and he starts running in the other direction. He said, I don't want to be anywhere around police or whatever. So the guy comes up to see Larry. He says, hey, whose show is this? He says, that guy over there running away. It's his show. It was just very typical of Larry. He did this all the time, but
he dodged. He dodged a lot of people. He was what do you call it? Duck and dodge, right, or dash and dodge, whatever.
He was good at it.
But there was something fun. There was something fun about him because you never knew what would come out of his mouth next or what he would do. There's another story. I was with Jack Leonard, and we were in Baltimore, Maryland.
No, Jack Leonard, sure.
And at one of the hotels out there, and somehow we all converged there, and we met there. So Larry says, let me call up Sam Lau. So the only way to call back then was with a payphone. So he goes to the front desk there and gets about $3 or $4 in quarters and starts dumping the quarters in the machine, the payphone. Anyways, he couldn't get through to Sam Lau. So he goes up to the room. He ends up spending the night with Jack Leonard. Jack Leonard had his car parked in one of the underground parking lots, but it was past the time and it was locked up for the night, so he was forced to stay with Larry. So, and this is a story Jack Leonard tells. Larry goes into the bathroom and starts lighting firecrackers and throwing them inside the bathtub. Now, this is a classy, ranky, fancy hotel in Baltimore, Maryland, and Larry's shooting firecrackers off of it.
Wow. Well, that was Larry. There's no rules. No rules for Larry. Yeah. No rules.
Larry's famous line is, Berk, they make laws so I can break them.
There you go. It sounds like he was exhausting to hang out with.
Someone told me a while back, and they said the same thing. It's exhausting being your friend. And I said, you ought to see my other friend, Larry Lomaz.
There you
go. He was exhausting. I think I'm rather easy to hang around with compared to these guys,
Yeah. Larry always seemed to have, he was drawn towards celebrities. Like there's pictures in your office with him with a boxer, and then the Sammy Hagar stories.
He was
a lot of sports figures and stuff.
He wanted to be known by so many people. He really wanted to be, I think, just a celebrity himself. I mean, he
didn't shy away from the news camera, right? I heard a lot of stories about him on the news.
Never.
Right, here's another story. So Larry's, I talk to Larry quite often. And I'd say, Larry, why don't you come up with a brand name that people want to buy? Something unique, something different, something exciting.
Not Bikini Beach?
So I just mentioned, I said, well, there's this brand, there's that brand, maybe Superman brand. I just talking. Well, little did I know that he was going to take my word for it and come out with Superman brand firecrackers. He says, Berk, he says, that idea cost me $300,000 DC Comics.
But of course, somehow I bet he didn't pay $300,000. He was probably trying to get Rob to pay half of it, and he just inflated the prices.
I always wonder what happened to those Superman firecrackers.
They're out there.
We had over 1,000,
Yeah.
1,500 cases of them, and I don't know where they ever went.
Steve Kozar, whatever happened to Larry's girlfriend, Paulette?
Paulette.
Colonial Fireworks does have some Superman fireworks. They did get some.
Yeah,
They
I
did
don't
get
remember
some.
no Paulette.
Well, they made a second round where they wrapped the brick with a Superman outer label. I made this myself.
Well, did he get a cease and desist saying he couldn't sell them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, in a big time way.
Yeah.
We had to get. We hit them out in one of the trailers and stuff, and we could never sell them again. And I never know whatever happened. There was at least 1,500 cases.
Yeah.
A couple containers.
I know Colonial did get some.
We never got.
Here, I found it,
I
guys.
never saw them again, John.
Yeah.
Never saw them
Superman fireworks seized after a lawsuit.
There you go.
This is 1983. DC Comics of New York City owners filed a lawsuit in federal court here to stop a Deerfield, Ohio fireworks firm from selling Superman supercharged sparklers and other fireworks.
Wow. Yeah, he was he really was a legend. And in today's auction, me and Steve both bid on something, and Steve got a package of a brick of the Bikini Beach firecrackers, and I got a brick of the Air Thunder firecrackers, which I never even knew we had it. I never even knew we did it, and. The funny thing yeah, and then I bid on the box of the 2000 sparklers because that was a big thing for Larry to get these sparklers for 2000 Millennial. This is going to be great, and he got those sparklers delivered in February.
Yeah, those are the ones you got at the
and then
auction,
he didn't pay for them either because he said, well, you guys missed the delivery date, and it was a big ordeal there.
Of course he didn't pay for them.
Yep. Wow. So, and now it just cost me $100, and Larry's gone, and I'm still paying for him.
You're still paying Larry even when he's gone.
Johnny, 1984. The sun is glistening off the diamond-studded L's on Larry Lomaz's gold bracelet as he walks through his 86-acre fireworks complex in Deerfield.
Nice.
Lomaz, 33, is president of Lomaz Financial Services.
So, yeah, and I remember that one.
Lomaz
Financial Services.
He was a banker?
But the headquarters for his $30 million fireworks empire in Ohio, which banned all retail sales in 1941. Oh, boy. Lomaz and 60 other Ohio dealers will operate illegally selling firecrackers because of a loophole in the Ohio law. But her is a pretty... this is the kind of the Buckeye we remember.
Yeah, look at that. Yep. That was about...
I remember that picture. I was there when they took that picture.
That looks like
you were there when they took this picture.
Yes,
that looks like his picture when he did New Hampshire too.
Oh my God! Look at that.
30 million he was doing back then.
Yeah, look at this,
and
John.
I guarantee you, John, the FBI was there the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Look at these pictures, Johnny.
$30 million empire.
Look, now that's a true picture there, but there's no way this is his people. He must have cut and pasted those pictures.
Oh, yeah. He had that doesn't look like Ada. Working on two big box screens.
No, this is a store.
Larry's...
Yeah, I'm talking about these.
No, we had them.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Yeah.
So Larry was
a technology guy.
Mail order.
Yeah, mail order. That's right.
Larry was Midwest Fireworks, correct?
He was several.
This is where
he was.
Who's Buckeye? Is that Larry as well?
Larry's,
trailer I was in.
That was Larry before.
I hung that sign up.
Oh, my gosh. Here, Fireworks Blast hurts 4 workers.
I did this catalog.
1982.
Fireworks Unlimited.
Wow. Only Rob Berk could ever produce something like this.
1982, John.
1982. Fireworks blow up in Deerfield.
I'll be honest with you. Everything he's sitting here, I helped produce all this. Okay. The Fireworks Unlimited. I did this catalog.
Look at this, guys. Deerfield Fireworks entrepreneur claiming harassment. This article is signed by Lomaz. Nice. Lovely.
Wow, lovely.
Lovely, John.
Berk, give me that. I'll sign it for you.
Yep.
Stacks and stacks of black cat, jumping jacks, cuckoos, and soaring peacocks and other products with colorful names
I still have some
are
of
in
these.
neat rows at Buckeye Fireworks. Wow.
Fireworks Unlimited. I don't know. He didn't keep that name very long.
He didn't keep Buckeye that long.
No, but Buckeye.
Something happened to Buckeye. He got sued or something, and he changed the name or something
then
like
Midwest.
after Buckeye became Midwest.
became Midwest.
Yeah.
And then Fireworks Unlimited
He
was
did Fireworks Unlimited.
Yes.
And then what was
Then
it?
Buckeye,
for
I
a
thought.
couple of years, and then he went to Midwest.
Oh, he didn't do Buckeye before he did Buckeye
Buckeye
first.
was first.
Okay,
Buckeye was first.
Buckeye was a good name,
Yeah.
Hey, here's this. Listen to this, Stevie. Larry starts 6-month jail service, October 26, 1984, at Portage County Jail.
Yep,
Look at
and
my notes.
So that's when I met you, 1984, Steve. Because then that's
No, we met in the 90s. 90s. Larry was in prison when I met you.
that's when he started his prison thing.
No, he did. Okay, the reason he went to prison for was for impersonating an FBI.
Yes,
officer.
an FBI officer. Yep.
Tell that story.
Okay.
Yeah, tell that story. Yeah, let's get these on the
Now,
air.
here's the article. This
Okay,
is 1985.
we can't keep interrupting him, so let's go. Steve,
all
you
right,
got the
all
floor.
right.
I want to hear this
Okay.
one.
Read this one thing first, Steve.
I just want to straighten John out. When he went to prison in 91, when I met you, he was
Okay.
in prison for impersonating an FBI officer. And this is how it started. A guy from West Virginia owed him money. So Larry, he didn't pay him. So Larry starts calling him up, and he impersonates and said, I forget what name he used. He said some name. I'm from the FBI, West Virginia office. If you don't pay, we're going to put you in jail. So the guy panicked, got scared, so he runs down to the nearest FBI office in West Virginia and told him he'll pay whatever it is, just give me time, and tell Officer so-and-so this and that. I said, what are you talking about? He says, well, I got a phone call from an FBI agent. He said he was from West Virginia, and he gave me the name. Now, Larry happened to pick a name that there was a real officer with that name.
Wow.
But he was out of Oklahoma. So they called this officer in Oklahoma and asked him if he did it, and he said no. So they set Larry up.
Another phone
He
call.
made the phone call, and they went in and arrested him. And Howard Ellison was his lawyer at that time, because I remember going to court with him. And he got 6 months. I think he got a year, but they gave him 6 months, and he went to Tallahassee. That's when he went to Tallahassee.
Okay.
Look at this, Stevie. Read
Yeah.
this little thing here.
So that was the story there, how he got it. What he finally went to jail for.
Yeah. And then how long did he get for it? He was only getting about
He was only there 6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
He got out in 6 months.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So you
Then what was the thing he was in jail for in 1980? Because I started going there.
1987, they came out, and I was in Florida. I was running the Florida operation, and they raided Deerfield, Ohio on July 2nd. Okay, they came out, and that's when they hauled Larry's safe away. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
They took it away, and Larry wouldn't open it. And the only way they could get it open, they had to cut it open. They did it during the trial. And I think there was something like 800,000 in that safe when they found it. And that's the day Larry says they'll never take my safe again. That's when he built the one. It's still out there.
Yep,
probably.
still out there. Yep.
What did he do? Surround it in concrete?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But in '87, he got arrested on a fake charge. They just hated him out there.
Yeah.
And they thought by shutting him down and losing the 4th of July that would bankrupt him. He went through a lot that
He
year.
did. Yeah.
I remember I had to fly up from Florida with 50,000. They gave him a 500,000 bond for a guy selling fireworks.
Yeah.
Give me a break,
Yeah.
Portage County. But anyway, I came up. I had the 50 grand, and we got him out. And he went to trial weeks later, got everything thrown out, got his 800,000 back.
Wow.
And
He won a lot of cases.
In '88, we had a rough year because Larry had we had a hard time getting fireworks because he didn't because of his name and
Yeah.
he doesn't pay anybody. That's when Don Beechler came in and helped out. Ed Snyder helped out a little bit, and I guaranteed them they would all get paid. Okay, and I'll make sure of that.
Did he get paid?
Yeah, that we paid them that year,
Yeah.
and then he started importing again.
Yeah. Because he always pushed certain people around, but when it got down to the final nitty gritty, he knew when he had to pay. He knew even with me, he knew he had to pay me because it wasn't gonna, it was just a difficult time back then. It wasn't gonna go away. So he knew which ones he can get away with and which ones he couldn't. Just in today's world, same thing with these guys that don't pay us. The real scammers, they know that they can get away with it because the laws they know all the ins and outs. But so many interesting articles about Larry, but just the stories are so many that people have their own take on and stuff like that. And it was just, it's just been an incredible life.
John, here's one.
You know, the nice thing, the weirdest thing about his life, the best thing about his life was he never had to listen to anybody. It didn't matter what lawyers told him. It didn't matter what, accounting firms told him. It didn't matter nothing. He just did what he wanted to do. Yep.
Lomaz Financial Corporation.
Wow.
Do you remember this card, Steve?
Yes, absolutely.
So listen, it said here, direct import specialist.
I'm telling you, Bert, I did all
Midwest Fireworks Unlimited.
I lived this.
This I never heard. Lomaz.
I did all these catalogs.
Lomaz Advertising Agency. I never heard that.
Oh, my God.
But I will tell you something that no one here knows. John, and maybe even Steve, do you remember Buckeye Towing?
No, never.
Lomaz bought a tow truck, and someone called him up. It was during the winter time, and they needed to be towed. He went down there. He says, Berk, that's the first and the last time I'm doing that. I'm getting rid of this company. Buckeye Towing.
Wow,
it's
Buckeye
for real.
Towing.
Now, you often wonder why I could never understand why Larry was always mad at me. Look at that.
Best of luck to my best friend. Wow, look at that. Because this name was still on my insurance policy.
Pacific Financial. I
Service
remember
of
that
America.
one.
Yep.
Pacific
This was.
Financial.
I just removed it off of my insurance this last time. So they go through the names and ask you want this one. We're like, take it off. Look at this, 1985. And this year's ago was like our pull sheet.
I know I told this story the last time we did a podcast when we would send out our wholesale list earlier than everybody else, and I did the pricing. And I remember that about 2 or 3 weeks after it was sent out, Richard Naples called me from wholesale fireworks. He goes, Stevie, how in the hell can Larry sell this stuff so damn cheap? I said, it's very simple, Richard. When you don't pay for it, you can sell it for anything, He goes, oh, I forgot who sent me this.
Whatever he's making is 100% profit. Didn't matter.
Yeah. But there was something else, though, too, guys. As you know, Larry would bring the first load in and get people hooked on his product, and then the second or third load, he cheapened them on purpose.
Did this catalog.
He bought it right, but it was also, you're lucky if the product worked.
Fireworks Unlimited.
Yeah, this is Fireworks Unlimited, yeah.
So he would intentionally lower the quality of the product so this way...
Just to save money.
Yeah.
He was brutal with that.
Yeah.
You get one batch in and then the next batch was completely different. And then he used to argue with me all the time. You buy that stuff from Brothers. This is out of the same factory. And this is the same one. I'd say, Larry, let's shoot it, which he never shot. I'm like, you're telling me that looked like that one? Well, maybe, I don't know. They must have got it mixed up in the factory, but that's what it was supposed to be.
John, look at this. Stevie?
I got those T-shirts done.
Let me see what this one.
It's my buddy that did the T-shirts. Larry paid him.
I
made sure.
That was a big
I told
thing.
Larry, I ain't doing this with my friends if you're not going to pay.
For several years, he was doing those T-shirts.
Yeah. You
Stevie,
those, Bert?
look at this.
I got the baseball jacket somewhere. Remember he had those old
I remember
baseball
that jacket.
jackets?
Yeah.
You have a shiny jacket?
I had the baseball jacket where you got the cloth with the leather sleeves or whatever.
An emblem on the front of it.
Steve, look at this.
Look at all this stuff. Rob doesn't throw nothing away.
Can you imagine this? U.S. Airlines, there's a magazine in there.
Oh, wait a minute.
Lomaz advertising U.S. Airlines. Look at that.
Look at this.
I never remember that.
Thousands of items to choose from. Could you imagine? That's why you never want to do nothing with Rob Berk, because if they seize his records, they'll put us all away because he saves everything.
That's Larry's signature.
Oh, no,
right
look
there.
at this.
Believe me, I got that signature on file.
I got something you have never seen. I can't believe this. World Fireworks. Did you know that one?
Yes, I did.
I don't.
did?
I want to hear the story right now.
Akron?
I remember this.
Tell me the story. I want to hear it right now.
Galactic Titans. He would give me a job to do, and I would put it together, and he'd get it printed.
But what's the name, though? Where'd the name come from?
I don't know where he got the name. There's Superman.
What's
right there.
what's the point of doing all these different companies?
Well, you know what it is. You create your own competition.
He believed in, what do you call them?
Shell companies.
Shell companies.
Yeah.
Right. He had dozens of them.
Yeah.
Dozens of them. Pacific Financial, he had that one for a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Bert.
I like I said, I just removed off my insurance policy
Yeah.
this many years later. Yeah.
I remember Pacific.
'Cause-
I didn't do this one. I wasn't there yet. This was
What's
this is
that one
back in
called?
'82.
Fireworks Unlimited, yeah.
But I was selling. I was a bootlegger then.
Now, do you guys remember the Rossi item called two-stage silver jet?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we still got it.
But wait a minute. I thought it was made by Buckeye Fireworks.
No,
Wow.
it's made by a guy down in Salem, Ohio.
No, it's not. Show him, John.
Well, he's got his name on it. Look at this one, Joe.
That he took the labels off and put these on.
Yeah.
It was a guy in Salem, Ohio, made that two-stage
Well, look
space
at-
jets.
Colored smoke ball back in the day, 57.65. This is why Hong Kong brokers are so wealthy to this day. I mean, this case is now because of recent, freight and all that. But this case was $50 5 years ago. And this same case was $50. This is way before importing days. You know what I mean? And way before we could go to China. So you paid the Hong Kong broker a ton of money for everything.
I did that.
Yeah.
Here's something from Lomaz in '82. Lomaz denies that fireworks are illegal in Ohio. That's a myth driven into the consumers' heads, he says. Larry told me many times, guys, that he was, in the early years when he had the coin shop, he would go outside of his coin shop on July 4th and he would sell sparklers to the people in the crowds watching the parade. And more than once, he was stopped and arrested on the spot.
Yeah, that's the thing a lot of people don't realize, how much fireworks were years ago and how cheap they are today compared with inflation. If it was normal, smoke
Right.
balls would be $200 a case if it was normal inflation rate, but it actually went down in price.
Do you know what when I first started there? You know what we were selling bottle rockets for?
Oh, I'd say about $12.99.
For a gross.
About $12.99.
$1.99.
Oh,
For
okay.
a gross.
Really?
For a gross. And we were still making a killing.
Yeah. But that was in what
we were
year?
paying like 19 cents a gross.
In what year?
1981, best wishes.
And what year was that?
This is in the 80s because I would get the purchase orders when they would come in, and we when you get the duty freight and all that they added on, you had about $16 in a case of bottle rockets.
Yeah. Which was good because you remember how expensive firecrackers when we were kids. You'd buy a brick for, like in my area, it was $30 for a brick of firecrackers.
Yeah.
But back then we were paying $50 out of China for those firecrackers. We're not even paying $50 now for firecrackers. So I was surprised to hear that they were that cheap in the 80s because then they must have went up and then went down when we were able to import.
Here's a story for people that really know fireworks. So Lomaz in his catalog advertises a string of salutes. So I went with him. He had a place in Poe, Ohio. Did you know about that, Steve?
No,
Near
I don't remember.
a little bit south of Wadsworth. Poe, Ohio. So I went there on Saturday when I went to school in Kent. He says, Berk, we got to fill some orders up. So we go down to this place in Poe, Ohio, and he gives me an order, and there's a string of salutes on the order. So
I remember that one.
Larry gets a string of 3-inch salutes fused with a quick match. This is aerial, serious Class B stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I said, Larry, I don't know. I wouldn't ship this. This is pretty serious stuff. Maybe you're right. Give him a couple boxes of M80s. But,
I remember this catalog. What year is that? Is there a year on it? I remember this. Because remember he had the gold and the green.
Yes, the gold. He got the gold sheet from where.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The football gold sheet.
Yep.
direct mail. Hey,
That
guys.
does look
And then
familiar.
I
I
was buying on the gold sheet, and then someone said, "Oh, I'm surprised you're not on the green sheet. You're such close friends with him." And I said, "He's that's for bigger buyers."
The gold sheet had the best prices, John.
$1.99. No, the green had the better prices. M100 War Missile
I did this
Thunderbuster.
here, 1992. Oh my God, Long Ranger.
You remember that?
See,
Steve?
we had Florida. This is Fireworks of America. He got in trouble with that one because there was fireworks over
America, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he probably
What do you
named
think
it.
he got? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That name didn't last long either, John.
That's when I wanted to name my coffee shop
I did
Stir
this
Bucks.
catalog.
Did you?
Fireworks Unlimited.
Yeah.
1987.
Stirbucks?
Stirbucks,
there you
yeah.
go. I like that one.
What's your coffee shop? Stirbucks.
Yeah, this brings back a lot of memories. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. Right
I'm
now.
going to start a new band, the Rolling
I remember
Steins.
that we
Yeah, Rolling
I
Steins.
remember when me and the photographer did this picture. That was I
Oh,
don't know
that's
how
kinda
he
cool.
did it. He did it cool.
Yeah.
This was in Florida. I did these down in Florida.
Yeah.
I don't think this guy ever got paid. This
Yeah.
guy did this catalog. I don't know if he got paid or not.
All right, here's something else I found. I can't believe what I'm finding here. Larry basically sold anything that was illegal or immoral.
Yeah, I believe that.
So he sold all the triple X adult 8mm tapes. You remember that, Steve? Was that before your time?
Yeah. No.
He sold all those things. So here's his favorite story. Lomaz goes to Baltimore, Maryland to pick up a load of, how do I say it? Adult novelties.
Adult novelties.
So he puts them in a suitcase. One of these guys selling suitcases on the street. And he goes to check in at the airport. And the lady says, "Sir, would you lay that suitcase on the scale?" The second he lays it down, the suitcase pops open, and these things are flying everywhere.
There you go.
Every time he told me that story, I roared. This is something fun I made for him.
Well, here, I can prove this now. I've tried to tell everybody when artillery shells first started. I can prove it right now with this catalog. 1987 festival balls.
Yeah.
Holiday shells. Those were the first artillery shells ever come out. And then
Okay.
it boomed after that. Now, these are only 1.5 inches. Now we have 6 inches.
Yeah, now you get Excalibur, right?
Yeah. all
Canister
that
shells.
stuff.
Lomaz is constantly stalked by many of his friends and fans, just hoping for a quick glimpse of this popular icon who really has become a recluse due to all his attention and ever-growing popularity. This is classic. Lomaz started business as a mere child of 17, selling fireworks from his locker in high school. Besides the world-famous Buckeye fireworks, Mr. Lomaz is known in the adult novelty and gaming industry. Larry was many aliases, including Larry Collins, Larry McCall, and the ever-popular Big Daddy, in an effort to escape the media, who is always looking for the next interview.
Isn't that cool? I made that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Big Daddy.
I remember that, Big Daddy.
Daddy.
I nicknamed Dino Big Daddy. So when you got one of my fireworks says in the Hilton sign, it says in Las Vegas, it says now appearing Johnny Starr and Big Daddy.
Here's an old picture of Larry. It doesn't even recognize him hardly there.
Oh yeah, this is the Larry I remember. They was.
Let me see.
Yeah, I remember this. I remember the green AstroTurf. That's the Larry I remember the most.
That's the Green Monster.
Yeah.
Larry did mail order stuff too. Didn't he have something with
that
coins?
was the big. Well, it actually started off in the
Yeah,
coin business.
And that got him in trouble though, right?
Yeah.
He didn't. He would take the money and just not ship them.
Yeah, that was in this article right here.
Mail order. That's how he started making a lot of money. Okay, when we started the mail order, and
mail order, not fireworks.
it did great. And we used to use UPS.
To send fireworks.
Yes.
Yeah, you could do it back then.
Yeah, right. They could do it back then. And Zolden got in it. Isaac down there in Florida, and there was 4 or 5 only guys doing catalogs, and we were doing great. I mean, we were putting out 1,000, 1,200 orders a day, and but all of them did it. Bruce did it. Larry did it. Isaac. They all did. They would ship the states you weren't supposed to, and UPS got raided. They handcuffed their drivers and everything for having fireworks in their trucks. And in 1988, they quit. They said they're done.
Yeah.
That was
UPS
it.
stopped. Yeah, UPS stopped selling because
Yeah.
they had to change everyone over to that. That's kind of when a little bit right when the CDL license was becoming popular.
Yeah.
And then it was the hazmat. So then UPS said we're out of it because it'd be not cost effective for them. You know?
Okay, so I'll tell you guys this story. So after that happened, Larry says, let's try airplanes. So I can't remember the company that had the green. What were they called? I can't remember their name. Like it would be like a FedEx company.
Okay.
So Larry calls him up, and the guy's, I'll never forget his name, was John Marciano, named after the boxer, right?
Boxer.
So this guy comes down. Larry asks him, "Can we start shipping fireworks by air?" And the guy's, "Yeah, I think we can do this." I think this was 1988 or 89. It was right after UPS quit. I know Bruce took him to court. He tried to sue him, and UPS won. But anyway, so I was involved in it. We filled up. They came out, picked them up in trucks, and they loaded on an airplane. It was going to New York City. So this girl from that company called the New York Fire Marshal to get clearance to fly this plane in. Well, the fire marshal said, "Yeah, bring that plane on in. We'll give you clearance." Well, when the plane landed, they surrounded the plane and seized the airplane. This made national news, and the people never got their fireworks. I don't know how many, maybe 30, 40, 50,000 was on that plane in orders.
Never got it.
That's it.
Wow.
He said, "Oh well, it's over." He goes, "We got to find a new way to sell fireworks."
Yeah.
So the airplane thing didn't work.
Larry was the king of
Yes.
adapting. He no matter what, he just change something else. He's always ahead of his time, even with the gambling. We started gambling in Ohio. He was ahead of his time there. But then once again, he sabotaged himself by trying to buy more machines and buy bigger and so much,
I had several occasions where Larry would call me from Vegas.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
back when they had phones there or whatever. People would call,
That's
use their
right.
phones. He says, "Berk, I'm here on the table. Hold on 1 second." He'd lay the phone down and roll the dice, I said, "Berk, I miss you, Buck." But, he did, he enjoyed life, like I said, like crazy. And one of my favorite stories is there was a guy that worked there. Did you know Lou Marcello worked for him for a while?
That was one of your employees.
Yeah. So anyways, Lou was working there, and this is back when people always trying to figure out a way how to use the phones, not paying for long distance charges. So Larry had that 1-900 going for a while.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But anyways, Louis calls his girlfriend up in Warren, and they're talking. I don't know how long they're talking on the phone. Little did he know that Lomaz recorded the whole conversation.
Oh, my God.
So this Lou's walking out the door of Buckeye. It's cold outside and not too much lights going on. But he had these big megaphones on the telephone poles, whenever he did announcements or whatever. And then he hears the recording, and then Larry hangs up, stops the recording in the middle and says, "Good night, Louie."
Larry had the first ever cell phone.
Yeah.
Remember this, Berk, the black boxes?
The big
That
black
he had.
box.
Yeah, the
phone,
big
Black
the carrying
boxes.
bag.
Like a
Yeah,
brick,
like
yeah.
a bag. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
He was the first to have a cell phone.
I remember he picked me up. He's got this battery and that battery in this bag, and he was,
So did Larry ever, contribute to like charities? Did he donate to anything?
Good question. All I can say is there was a place in Akron called Tangiers, and Lomaz booked Chubby Checkers.
No. It was
you
at
tell me that
Mama
story?
Llamas.
You told me the story because you told me.
It was Mama Llamas, not Tangiers.
What's
But
Mama
go ahead.
Llamas? That's the name of the place?
It was a nightclub.
Okay.
Disco nightclub.
No, I think I like that name for a cake, Mama Llamas.
Yeah.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. Write that down for me,
Or
Ron.
Mystical Tour. It could have been one of the two. That
Okay.
was the same place.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell
Go
it. About Chubby Checker.
Rob, tell us about Chubby Checker.
I thought this was your story.
We had to clear it up.
Larry-
There's Mama
Larry-
Llamas.
and
they
the
had-
bottom line was
Larry hired Chubby Checker to do 2 showings.
So he was an entertainment booker as well?
Oh, yeah. No, he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they booked him, and it was for $2,000. And the first show, like 12 people showed up. So Larry already knew he was going to lose money.
Right.
So they did the second show, and about 30 people showed up. So we get in the back room to get paid, and Chubby Checker, he told me, he says, "I'm not paying you," and he goes, "You owe me $2,000." He said, "I'm not going to pay you," and walked out the room. That was it.
So Chubby
just stood
Checker
there.
demanded his money, and Larry wouldn't
Yeah, Larry
here's
called him
another
your
one.
loss.
Here's
But see,
another
That was
Larry
it.
was a big guy. He was intimidating. Larry was a kind of a big guy.
He was heavy set.
Yeah, he was heavy set.
I think I'm
And he
6
was-
foot. He was about maybe a little bit taller than me.
Yeah, he was
and
about
that's
6'1". He was a big guy,
Yeah.
Larry.
Yeah.
Back in the day, he was a
Yeah.
big guy, and because he oozed this appearance and the wealth about him, that people just like, how did he walk out? He just walked out. Like I can't even say nothing to this guy because you couldn't get a word in.
I think that was in like 1977 or 78 when he did that.
You
Chevy
think
Checker.
Larry? Probably to this day, I think is probably out of all of us, maybe besides Rob Berk, the best filibuster ever.
There you go.
Oh, bum bum.
Here's another story that no one knows about Larry. Turn on your speakers, fans. Larry used to do at his Deerfield location bikini contests.
Oh yeah,
Well, everybody did that.
everyone knew that.
He brought in Heather Kozar among others. But he asked me to be
No
a
relation.
Isn't Heather? Yes, Steve's way better looking. No, hey, isn't Steve? Because you just spent $100 and whatever on that brick. Isn't that Heather on the label?
I didn't look at it.
I think so.
Is that her?
I think
Okay.
that's her. I think
Could've
that
been.
was
Was
the
Heather
winner.
Kozar and
Well,
a famous?
And when Heather won, since I worked, I was vice president. They came in and thought Larry rigged the officials or
Oh, okay.
and I told the guy I don't even know who she is. I never met her in my life. And,
Yeah.
And there's no relationship. I said, and I didn't pick her. I
Yeah.
had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm.
So, but he got, if I remember correctly, he signed a contract with her that he got 1% of what she made, and I think she made the Playboy. Didn't she make
Yeah.
Playboy?
Is this her? Playboy?
I think so.
Yeah, that's her.
She made the Playboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she married Tim Couch with the Cleveland Browns.
No,
Yeah, talk about it here. Yeah.
No,
Here's a couple of Larry's famous
I think
lines.
she's on the. I think she's the one on the Bikini Beach.
I'll take a good look at it when I
Yeah,
go back.
yeah.
I paid $200
Bikini
for
Beach?
that damn brick today.
Really?
Bikini Beach. Yeah, I know.
Here's a couple of
Because
Larry's.
that moron kept adding it up.
I know.
I was like, what?
American Fireworks.
Yeah, and you're like, I used to work there. Jeez,
No,
I know.
I said, we're up from Ohio. What are you doing here?
She was Playboy's Playmate of the Month for January 1998.
Yeah, he got a piece
Playmate
of
of the Year 1999, and she worked on The Price Is Right.
Yeah, and Larry got 1% of that.
She was born in Akron, Ohio.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. All right, here's some
Her
of Larry's.
dad owned a pizza shop called Kozar's Pizza Shop over in Portage Lakes.
Wow.
Here's some of Larry's famous lines. You want to be my friend, but you want my money. Do you remember that, John?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, and
She
here's one I wrote down. I don't remember the
A
song.
lot of people did want his money because they thought he had so much.
Look at the quarter behind the dime.
I told that
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
Yeah, we heard that
yeah.
last time. Yeah.
That was his famous
Yeah.
quarter behind.
Look
And
at
then
the
here's
quarter
one-
behind
And I
the
used to
dime.
tell her, you got to remember one thing: there's no dime. So how could there be a quarter?
Yeah, that was the thing that was the funniest is there was no dime.
Here's one. They make laws so I can break them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this, Steve. Here's some stories you must have told me about stuff.
In 2009, Heather Kozar was ranked number 5 in list of the 10 prettiest NFL girlfriends and wives.
Okay, so I
Yeah, she married Tim Couch in 2005.
wow.
She was in movies.
She did good.
Yeah.
She was a pretty girl.
She was a St. Pauli girl.
And Larry did good. Yeah.
She was a St. Pauli girl. Yeah. She. Wow.
That was incredible.
Heather Kozar.
Yeah, I believe Heather is on the label. That's probably, that Bikini Beach is probably worth something to Heather.
Right. Exactly. I wonder if you reached out to her. We can
Yeah.
interview her.
You know what? We're going to interview Heather Kozar on
Now
this podcast.
your mouth is writing checks. Your body can't cash. I don't know if we can
Well,
get her.
in the form of Larry Lomaz, we can do this. We are really all mini Lomazes, except for Rob Berk.
I will try and reach out to her. I don't know if I'd be
will.
successful, but yeah.
This was the last catalog I did for him right here.
She was born in 1976.
He couldn't get no more printed ones anymore.
Is she still living?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Wikipedia doesn't say she passed away.
Okay,
so
yeah,
she's
she's only
still
48
alive.
years old, so I mean,
Yeah, she's still alive.
Yeah. Well, we got to, Ron, I'm putting this mission. We are reaching out to, I think,
When you say we, you mean me.
yeah, when I say we, I mean you. And then we're going to reach out to Steve and Rob for this Heather Kozar meeting. We'll do it in a neutral territory.
I don't think I've seen her since that night she won.
Look at that.
George, there's a
concert
lot
series.
of good memorabilia
VIP,
here. That's
yes.
unbelievable. Old price list, unbelievable. Look at that. Fireworks Unlimited. Signed
This is great
autographed.
stuff,
Oh,
guys.
this is in fact unbelievable.
Rob, you got a nice collection there.
Yeah.
Johnny, look at this.
Yeah, Bikini Con. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
There you.
Yeah. Yeah. Take a
All
look
right,
at
here's
that
another
one.
story for you guys. Larry, there was a deal in Akron, Ohio, where if you had a nightclub or gambling facility, if the proceeds went to charity, you could get away with opening it. And Larry opened up a place called Little Las Vegas. Do you remember that, Steve?
What year?
That I don't know.
What's it say
Any
on
written
there?
there?
I remember Little Las Vegas, 1969.
Wow.
No. That's something else. Is it?
That's what it says.
1969.
No, it's not 2021. Oh, wait.
No.
August
Wow,
4th.
69, yeah.
Little Las Vegas, that goes way back. So I
Larry
remember
Lomaz,
hearing
18
something
years
about-
old,
18 years old.
selling liquor to minors. Oh, fuck.
He was a minor himself.
Well, that's when he opened up Buckeye Fireworks, 69. wasn't it?
69.
Yeah.
69 or 70. I thought it was
Yeah.
70.
Well, he's.
I love how he stands. See, Ron, you need to do that. We need more portraits of me in
Amazing,
front
I
of
know.
thousands of cases.
No, I didn't.
And
do
then
that.
We can't even take a video of you in the warehouse
Well,
and you don't get nervous.
Because they want to seize everything.
I saw that.
Let me see that one. Press pass? Wow, look at that.
Well, he also had press man. You guys remember
1997, we probably did this concert, Ron, with the food. 1997.
Hey, do you remember the press man? You don't remember that one?
No?
When he was the better. When he used to make bets, he used to call himself the press man.
Yeah.
Press man?
The press
Okay.
man, yeah. I remember him calling me up from Vegas. He says, Johnny, when I make a bet, they change the odds.
I told you guys the last podcast I did. How many stories did I tell? About 5 or 6, John.
Oh, yeah. Some all good
You know,
ones.
the Louis Alonso one.
Yeah.
That was when he won 30 grand.
What
They thought he was God. And then
Yeah,
the
I remember
following
that
week-
story,
The
yeah.
following week, he lost every bet.
Yeah.
And Louis never got paid.
Yeah. No fun being a bookie with Larry Lomaz. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
it would be a one-way street.
One-way
that's for sure.
street.
Yeah.
When he win, he'd be calling you up, and then when he loses, you never hear from him again. You know.
So aside from all this, the drama and all the the questionable things that he did, was there any innovation, anything that he did? I mean, he did the mail order stuff, right? I mean, was there anything that he contributed to the fireworks industry?
wait,
I mean,
wait,
like Cam Starr did.
I will, since you said that, I will say this. I help open the state of Florida. I help open the state of New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
When I met him, he opened up the state of Ohio.
Okay.
Larry loved fireworks. He would
Yeah.
do anything to get the fireworks industry going. And if they had a top 10 list of guys that helped in the fireworks, I would have to say he'd be in the top 10.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
He was.
I've been in the industry for 52 years. I know Cam Starr's done a lot. Don Beechler, Herbie Livingston, Larry Lomaz, Dr. Coughlin. I would say he's done a lot. But I would have to put Larry in that top 10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Larry was very well known, and he really could have been very well respected in the industry because he was very well liked. It's just that
He had that bad habit not
yeah,
paying.
he had a bad habit of not paying, and he really screwed everybody. That's really what ruined him. You know, in the
Yes,
end, I mean,
yes,
that took
it
him
did.
down
Yes,
eventually.
it did.
Before we end this, before we go, if there was something you could say to Larry right now, what would you say?
Larry, I'm going to open up a fireworks store. And I told you I would get it someday.
There you go. What about you, John?
I would say to Larry,
If he was here right now.
I would if he were here now because he miraculously recovered, I would say, Larry, if I would have went to a different state, I would have said, Larry, if I would have went to No, I don't even want to say it on the air. I would just say, Larry, you were very close to death so many times. But I do miss him, that's for sure. But I would say, Larry, you don't know how many times you really were so close to death.
Now, there's, Ron, I know you have to, you're only signed up for a certain number of time on the air. But I got a few more things I got to show you.
No, go ahead.
I found another file folder. This is unbelievable. I can't even believe I have this. So this is Larry made a lot of tube items. He was big on that.
Oh yeah, what everyone back then. All right, Rob, don't dodge the question. If Larry was alive today, what would you say to him? Pay me for the toilet paper.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So Larry used to buy from our company. We sold paper towels, toilet tissue, and everything. So Larry, I told my staff, whoever would make the delivery, says, you do not leave anything there without a check. At the time, I didn't even know about it. In fact, in this file folder here, you're going to see it. It was a check that was submitted so many times to the bank where the bank says, please don't submit this anymore. The guy never has any money.
We're done.
But he asked, he said, would you mind if you could at least leave 1 or 2 rolls of toilet paper for me behind, because he had no toilet paper for his place. And I didn't want to leave any money because I knew he never pay me back.
So what would you say to him?
What would I say to Larry? Buck, the memories are going. Let's keep them going strong, because it was nothing but great times and fun times.
It does sound like no matter how exhausting he was and the drama that seemed to follow him around, he was still all these stories. You guys all talk so fondly about him, But it sounded like he wouldn't listen to anybody's. Nobody could tell him, reason with him, right, and tell him, why are you doing this, Larry? Why just pay the guy? There's enough money to go around. Right?
All of us have tried that so many times.
I was I worked with him for 20 years, and I was like the vice president, and which didn't mean nothing. And I always just tell him, let's pay these people. What I don't understand you, man. Don't understand you.
Right.
But I think he got a kick out of doing it.
Well, he had no conscience. That's the bottom line.
Right. I said
sounds
that
like
to him
that,
once.
yeah,
He had no conscience.
For some reason.
But I've heard from more than one of his countrymen that it really does become. I'm not going to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy because I can do that. But it has become well known in this industry, well known in Rob Berk's life. It's almost becomes a game with them. And,
with him,
yeah,
yes.
With a lot of his faith, it becomes a game that they just want to. You say $5, they say $3. I had a customer, I got to up the prices before I go see him, and then because he needs to get that deal. And Larry,
just wants to feel like.
And Larry it was a game to Larry, and it was a game not to pay, and he didn't realize how many. How many lives he hurt and turned upside down, but it really was a game to Larry to see how much he could just push you around, And, we've told this story, but it must be said to kind of conclude all this, but he said, on his deathbed, and we laughed at him, but on his deathbed, he looked up at me and he said, because 9 months he wasted away in hospice. Now, most people live 2 weeks in hospice the most.
Right.
But on his deathbed, he said to me, he says, John, what'd I ever do to deserve this? Now, in most cases, I've been, Larry, I know you got a rough break or whatever. And in Larry's case, I bust out laughing and I said, are you kidding me? You've done everything to deserve this. They're still looking for a 1993 Lexus that you never paid on.
Or the Cobalt boat.
Or the mysterious
I
boat.
tell you guys that story.
Or the mysterious boat. But he looked at me and then
the boat, yes.
And then he, with that smirk, he just gave me that smirk because he kind of knew, but he was like melting away to nothing. I think Larry weighed about 140 pounds at the end, and he just looked at me so sad, and he said, "What did I do to deserve this?" And I just start laughing. I mean, you could not laugh at that. So that is one thing that's the only thing that Larry Lomaz brought a lot of laughter to all of our lives.
Here's a letter he wrote me in 1972. Dear Rob, you heard my price. Buy where you want. My price is final, and please no more postcards. I will refuse the next ones. P.S. If you don't stop quoting my price to other people, I won't sell you anymore.
Yeah. See, Rob, he was in and out of your friendship so many times.
Well, again, if I gave him money, he's my bud.
Yeah.
If I didn't, then I don't know you.
But
This is some very, very early Buckeye catalogs. Wow, look at this, Steve.
yeah,
Wow.
This is some early vintage.
Now I want to look at the price of firecrackers on that one.
Here's
this is when I was.
How about this?
bootlegging
Fireworks of
buying
America.
from- I remember that one.
What-
Yep.
Was Larry married? Did he ever get married?
Never.
Never been
No?
married. No.
No, never got married.
Hey, I will go on record and say
Oh,
this.
wait a minute. This
Larry-
is Class B, Rob.
Larry is probably the closest guy we know to being a Hugh Hefner or a Larry Flint. He really was. He was
Including
probably
a
the
suitcase
closest
of
guy.
adult toys. Yeah.
Yep. When you watch the movie Larry Flint, it reminds me of Larry
There
Lomaz
you go.
because he was such a fighter,
Yeah.
And
This
dollar
is very early
67.
correspondence. Minimum order from Buckeye, $50, guys. Can you imagine that? Look at this, Steve. There's some vintage stuff there.
1973. Firecrackers were $2.35 a brick.
You remember these catalogs, Steve?
Prices subject to market fluctuations.
Yes,
Even
I
that
remember.
he was gonna get us screwed up. We do have Ed there, so
We want to wrap this up.
What was the one story?
unless we
you
want
wanted tell
to
that?
stall it and then do Ed right
What was the
away.
one story you wanted?
We can. Well, we have
I
to.
told
We
you
have to
on
do
the,
Ed. Yeah.
Yeah.
phone
Hey,
that
would you
night,
guys
but I forgot about
Well, why don't we wrap this up?
let's wrap this up?
All
We
right.
can
gotta
talk
make
more
Ed.
about this offline, guys. We appreciate it. The Larry Lomaz stories are always
And
awesome.
Rob, thank you for this
Rob.
collection that I'll be taking home with me and putting it all in a shadow box. No,
There you go.
but this is a great
This is a
collection.
great collection.
Of. In fact, I would like to get some copies of some of these price lists for that shadow box we're going to make with the Bikini Beach, the Air Thunder, and another great wall.
Look at
something
this,
we're gonna
Johnny.
do.
This
So,
is back when the snappers was a big thing.
Yep. Oh yeah, M80 smoke snappers. Yep. Well, anyways, we got to go, guys. But
right.
I want to
Always
thank.
a
Listen,
pleasure.
I want to thank John for putting this together. And,
Yep.
and
Thanks, John.
Ron's the
Ron.
man.
Ron,
Yeah.
the man
and
here.
also
I'm like Johnny Carson. He's Ed McMahon.
Steve Kozar. Steve Kozar is a great guy. A lot of people don't know him.
And Bobby Quinn just couldn't show up because of why, and maybe the tears would be
Yeah, I
too
don't
much.
know where
Yeah, I
Bob-
don't know
where's
where
Bob
he
at?
forgets. He's got a short memory these days. But anyway,
Thanks, guys.
All righty, thank you guys so much, and thanks our listeners. And we're going to have more of these Larry Lomaz. Maybe every anniversary of his death, we might
do
just
it.
do it. We
Could
could
do
do
it.
it.
And for those of you that want to hear some other topics, just send your request
Yes.
into
Yes.
Just go to our website, fireworksbrigade@gmail.com, and you can. We'll be sure to forward on the request.
We got more stories, and we'll even send you photographs of some of these price
Well,
lists.
no, they'll be on the video.
And
So,
don't
be on the
forget
video.
Star Fireworks in Fargo, North Dakota.
talk to you later.
Talk to you later, guys.
Nothing to see here, please.